the North Carolina mountains. Canvas on the table, watch the colors rise. Morning light is shining, blessings all around. Jesus in our hearts, standing strong and sound. Oh, symbols matching, sparkle in place. Watch the picture come to life with grace. Find diamond place that diamond, watch it shine. Diamond painting one drill at a time. Friends together, family near. Faith and love, we sparkle here. Symbols matching, cutters align. Chihuahua cuddle, feeling fine. Sticky canvas, drills in place. Row by row, pure sparkle grace. Cardinals singing in the Carolina sun. Working on jigsaw puzzles, piece by piece for fun. Come join Hillbilly, diamond shining bright. With Jesus, friends, and diamonds side by side.
Hey everybody, this is Dari and Champ here at Hillbilly Diamonds, where we close the door to stress and open our windows to sparkle. How is everyone? We are just sitting here diamond painting and eating Doritos and drinking water. I decided I didn't need no more soda today, so I got me some water. My lighting is going to change because I need this light to see how the diamond paint. Sorry. But I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm still working on this garden path from Feed the Garden. I'm having a nice time working on it. But let me move y'all to where y'all can see what I'm doing and get an idea. If y'all purchase a painting from Feed-Look, I would recommend this one because it is quite lovely. I'm right here in this area over here, and I'm working on the letter J. But I hope y'all are having a great day. It's not real hot here where I am. We had a little rain earlier, but it didn't amount to nothing. More or less like one of them summer rains. I decided I'm going to stay home today just so I can diamond paint and take a nap here after a while and mess around, take Champ out, let him walk around. But it takes him 45 minutes to make a complete round because he has to stop, smell everything. You know how little dogs do. But he enjoys that. I just love working on this. It is really fun. I was watching a cartoon, the Jetsons. Everybody knows that cartoon. Well, if you look at it close enough, everything they showing is now in existence today. They had computers, they had phones that you could see the person you're talking to on it. You know, you just think about it. A lot of stuff they showed in that cartoon is reality now, except for a car that rides up into the sky. But I would never be surprised if they don't invent one of those. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. But I used to love that cartoon. And my other favorite was Scooby-Doo. I like that one. Masters of the Universe. I liked that one. And many girls didn't like that cartoon, but I did. That's one thing. We go to school Monday through Friday. When Friday came, we knew the next morning was going to be the cartoon day. And we watched cartoons all the way up until they went off. And then we went outside to play and everything. But nowadays kids wouldn't know how to act if they had to stay in the house and actually look at a cartoon on TV, not on the computer, but on TV. They wouldn't know how to act with that. But did y'all have a favorite cartoon growing up? And my other favorite one was the Flintstones. I loved that too. I bought the nacho cheese Doritos, which is delicious. I wouldn't mind to have a taco salad. Do you guys like taco salad? I do. But I don't use taco shells. I use Doritos in mine. That way you have an extra cheese flavor in them. That sounds good to me, some taco salad. I might have to make some of that. Not today, but here pretty soon. I put little onions, tomatoes, you know, the lettuce, cheese, and I've even put, now y'all want to think this is strange, I've even put pepperoni in mine before. It just gives it a whole other flavor. You know, taco salad, you can about do it just like you do any other salad. You can spruce it up. You can even put bacon bits in taco salad. And don't forget the sour cream on them. A lot of people like sour cream on their taco salad. You know. Some days I get tired of cooking a hot meal. I just need something that is quick, easy, and to the point. My husband is frying some fish here today. I can't eat that. I'm allergic to that. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That were rude. I was watching Miss Linda, her thrift store haul. Man, did she get some great deals on that yarn and on those puzzles. 50 cents a piece for them puzzles. That was fantastic. Here in High Point at the thrift store, they charge you an arm and leg for things like that. 'Cause I used to work at Carolina Thrift, and I know how they used to price stuff. However, when I was working there, I was like a open and closing manager, and we had an old TV come in there. It was like a 19, you know, when they first invented the first TVs, because it had the round screen in it. They were going to throw that out. And I was pricing things that day, and I put $99.99 on it. Cause all the prices ended in 9. And they said, nobody gonna want that. We just well thought it. I said, no, put it on the floor for 2 days, and if it don't go anywhere, then I'll remove it. That day I put it out there. About an hour later, this man came in. He got so excited, and he bought it. And I told him, I said, sir, you do know the TV don't work. He said, it will work for what I want it for. He took it home and had an aquarium built in it. Yeah. And come back with pictures of it. I can't believe that he did that with that. But sometimes some of that stuff they throw away, somebody can upcycle it and make it into something else. You know, like some of that furniture they throw away, you can get that and reupholster it, rebuild it, make it into something else. But a lot of people don't know how to do a lot of that. And I had a friend who had a dresser, and it was scarred up, and the bed frame was scarred up. I told her, get some nice material and put on top of it, and then take the sides and paint it whatever color you want, and the trim work in the middle, paint it the same as the sides, and get material and put on the drawers on the outside. She said, well, I'm going to use that in my son's room. So she did it, and with cars on the material. Do you know someone offered to buy that from her? Yeah. And she said, my friend is the one that told me how to decorate it. And the way we put that material onto that dresser was, we put a bunch of Mod Podge on top of the dresser. Then we fitted the material around it. That's how we got it to stick. And that boy used that bedroom suit, I know, at least 4 years before he outgrew it. Like they always say, one man's junk is another man's treasure. And I believe that. Everything's coming along great on this. I am having fun. I'm thinking I'm going to get this one in a frame, because I have some plans in the future, and I might need a few good pictures to hang on my wall. And I think this would be fantastic. What do y'all think? I think it's going to work out great. Because my husband is still on that kick, wanting to move down there in his hometown by his daughter. I am not going, because as sure as I go there, I would have a 5 and 10. 5 minutes to beat her behind and 10 days in jail. And I can't afford no 5 and 10. And then that'd give me a police record, which I don't have. I can't afford that. But I ain't want to talk about that no more on this channel today. But my son and his fiancée bought a house up in Columbus. I don't want to move back up there either. But I tell you, when I lived there, I could quit a job today and have another job tomorrow. That's how the jobs were up there. You could leave one and get one. I always kept a job up there. That was the whole ideal. And I always made pretty decent money there. At, you know, certain jobs. I'm not on, if I move, I'm not moving far from High Point. Only about 13 miles. So the friends I have here in High Point, I can still, you know, have them visit me and I can visit them. But I really don't hang out with a lot of people here either. Because I have a saying, when you open your door to certain people, you are opening your door to Hell. Yeah, sometime. And I don't have time for all that either. I mean, I can't do all that drama with other people. But this little thing here is really coming along. I got a couple of parcels over there I want to work on. Y'all won't believe what I'm starting to get into wanting to diamond paint. It's dragons. Yeah, dragons. So my top favorite is the chihuahuas, the skeletons, the grannies, and now the dragons. Not them Randall Springle dragons, which I like those, but my favorite is the Chinese looking dragons, the ones spitting out fire and all that. I have one in my Temu cart that is a 70 by 120. I'm debating on getting that one. Because I have a few more in there I like a little bit more. But Temu be stepping up their game. There's a lady on there told me, you find a painting you like, go to the smallest size and then keep going up and watch the picture and the detail change in them. And she was right. The bigger it is, the more detail you have. So I've been watching that too. And yesterday I called myself going in there on a go through my diamond paintings, and I just looked and I'm like, oh no, I can't do this today. It was so many. But I got a solution for that. I can start doing what is in my totes. And I can show the diamond paintings I have. Like 4 or 5 every day. And the way I would do that so I wouldn't get confused with what I showed is I get an empty tote and start putting them over in that, and then go to another tote, you know, and write a piece of paper when it gets full. Already seen. That means I already showed it on the channel. What do y'all think about that? But some of them kits will not have the green boat, the pink wax, the little pen, you know. Because I took a lot of those over to the veterans home to use. Oh, and by the way, if anyone has any of those kits, the green boat, the pink pen, the wax, you want to get rid of, I can use them at the veterans home. I don't want no kits donated. I just want them things you know, use, the tools. The green boat, the pink pen, the wax that comes in. Because some of them men that diamond paint over there, they get heavy-handed and they snap them little pins in two. I'm going over Saturday, even though my daughter and grandchildren will be here at the house. I figure she can stay home with the kids here while we go over there and diamond paint. I even went over there and there was a man had the pink pen and he had snapped it into, and he was trying to diamond paint with a piece of the pen. He was getting them in there, but that would have drove me crazy trying to do that. He was just at the bottom trying to. So I'm going to take 6 paintings over there. I've got 6 already picked out. And that lady that likes the 20 by 20s, I'm going to take her a special drill over this time for her to do. Because she asked for one. I found one in there that had a not a butterfly, but flowers in it. And then I found a granny. So I'm going to put a number 1 and 2 on it and put it in a cup and let her draw out a number. And she'll get whichever one she draws out. And then the next time I go, the other one I just tuck over there, I'll take it back for her. But the sizes I normally take is 30 by 30s and 30 by 40s because I don't want to overwhelm, you know, the people where we have big ones. But a lot of them say they enjoy it. And the director of the activities at the Veterans Home asked me where I ordered my paintings from, and I told her from Temu normally. She said, well, we got some funds. I can go on there and start picking out some and keep them here, and maybe you can expand the number of people you take in there to diamond paint from 6 to 12, and we'll give you a larger room to work in. That would be great. That would help me out. You know, I'd take mine, and then what they get. That's a good idea. She had a great idea. Her name's Janine. And I told her, I said, I want to thank you for that. She said, the veterans they comment how much they enjoy diamond painting. I could even show her how to do it, and she could do it on other days of the week with them. You know, as an activity, other than me going over, you know, but I still would go on my Saturday, every other Saturday. I was going wait, I got that wrong. I was going once a month. Now I'm going every 2 months because of my issues with my heart. I don't want to get overworked on something. But I always have a good time when I go over there. And my husband, he'll go in there with me. And some of the guys that don't, you know, want to diamond paint, he'll play cards with them or shoot pool with them. So he has a good time also when I go over there. It's just, I don't know. Some people need to learn how to give to charities legally. Then ask them for things for a charity and doing illegal things with them. That's why I don't ask for no paintings for what I'm doing. I just ask people once in a while for those little tooth hits. I mean, no. I wouldn't do that. I couldn't sleep at night knowing I did something wrong like that. Taking advantage of people. But you'd be surprised at people that do it. See, some people need to learn how to really listen to people. You might look at one video and they're saying one thing, and then you go to another video and they're sort of saying the same thing, but it ain't the same thing. If you get my drift on that. And my sister-in-law, she came over last night and seen this picture I'm working on. She said, "Where'd you get that?" And I said, "From Felix." She said, "I need to come over here on a Sunday evening, because she works Monday through Saturday, and have you teach me how to do this." She said, "I need to learn how." I told her I'd help her, you know, I'd be glad to help her. And I told her I'd even give her a kit to start with. I got a couple of paintings in there that DP and the Dakotas had gave me. It's the same painting. She sent me 40 kits that were the same thing to, you know, take to the veterans home. And every now and then I'll slip one of them kits into what I'm taking over for them to work on. Which I could take all them others I got in there and keep doing that, you know, combining them in. That way they're being used for what she intended on them being used for. 'Cause I learned my lesson leaving my stuff at a facility when I was working at the domestic violence shelter. And that lady stole all my wax. I ain't forgot that. Now what are you gonna do with the wax if you ain't got the kids, okay? And you ain't, you know, She didn't take none of the kits out of that cabinet. She just took my wax. And my hero came to and saved me. KY Philly. She had sent me some wax to use until I got some more coming in. I don't know why people want to take things that ain't theirs. You know, that's wrong. But you'd be surprised what people will do nowadays. And what it was, the lady got mad. Okay, there I only had so many seats, you know, for people. And I let so many come in one evening, and then so many the other evening. And she got mad because she couldn't come in there every evening. Well, that wouldn't have been fair to the others. That one come in there all the time. However, there was one lady that would come in there all the time, but she never did diamond paint. She just came in to watch the other people diamond painting. And she said she just liked coming in there, you know, for the conversations that we had. We would talk about issues with different things. And that made a difference. That made a big difference. Then they cut me down to 1 day a week, and that really just wasn't worth my time. They want me to work 1 day a week, but come in there every evening and diamond paint. And what I would do is, when I'd be on the schedule to work, I'd go to work like at least 2 hours early so I could sit over and diamond paint with them. So my shift would start at 11 p.m. and I'd go over there early, like I said, and diamond paint with the people, the ladies, and just sit there and we'd talk about different things. However, at one point we did get a man in there who had 2 children, and his wife was real abusive to him. And here in High Point, he couldn't go to a women's shelter with those children. He couldn't go to the men's shelter with them children. So the police bring him to the domestic violence shelter, and we made a room for him. You know, his 2 sons. That was the first time they said they ever had a man stay in there. I felt sorry for him. You'd be surprised how many men go through that. And they just don't say nothing or do nothing. They just sit there and go through it. Just like when women used to sit in silence and not say nothing. Thank goodness for places like that. Yeah, at one point, I stayed at one. When my ex-husband was real abusive to me and broke in my house and did some things. But I'm not going to go in details on here with that. Yeah, I went to a domestic violence shelter. And I was grateful for it. But let me end this right here, because I am getting tired. And let me get my camera right. And I'm going to be back on here tomorrow. This is Hillbilly Diamonds, where we close the door to stress and open our windows to sparkle. And yes, my dryer is still broke. And yes, I have clothes hanging on the outside of that door. But I'm on a utility porch that is built in. What do you expect? Other than that, I hope y'all have a great afternoon, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.